So from here, okay, once I have my shoulders down, they're packed like a strength coach will talk about with a kettlebell swing or a deadlift. Okay, shoulders are packed, heavy. Try and even if you go 2-on-1, grab my sleeve, my arm, whatever. Try and pick that up. Good. Can't do it. Okay. Try and advance up my body. Good. Okay. Can't do it. Right. And then if he does go to attack my neck, right, from here, good. Now I have what I'm looking for. All right. And notice that my elbows didn't come out of position to do it. So yes, he was able to grab or start the process of grabbing, or from here, go ahead and grab. Okay. So I'm able to defend at this point. I am able to start the process of choke defense, but go ahead, just switch to the side so you can see. But now this is where we start with the UPA. Okay. So notice I'm keeping the discipline of keeping at least one of my legs down. There's no way for him to get a bite underneath me. As he goes to attack, I do not bring my elbows up and let him advance up the body, right? He's baiting me right now. As much as he's going for the choke, he's also baiting me to give up arm position. Okay, so I don't do it. Instead, I will go ahead and trap this. Now, we'll get into the UPA escape. So for the UPA escape, once I have trapped his arm like this, he obviously knows that I'm going for the UPA. However, there's some things we can do to really supercharge this and make sure that you can still get it. One of the philosophies of mount bottom defense is that if you only ever could have one escape, it would be the UPA, because theoretically you should always be able to do it if you can do it mechanically correctly and at the right time. So from here, my elbow stays down, right? So if Arthur, from here, if I grab, if Arthur starts to advance up into that space, keep going with that, with this side. Good, yep. Keep climbing, yes. See, he starts to continue to compromise me. And right now, if I were to bridge, it's going to have very little effect on him. Whereas if he's down over my hip, I have a much better effect on him. So from here, let me keep this down, right? Now, so he can't climb up. I've trapped the arm, isolated it. He may already be leaning in that direction, right? Anticipating I might try and do an UPA escape. So what I'm going to do is change it up a little bit. So again, when I bring my leg up like this, okay, to trap, now's the time to do it, I'm ready to go. If I look at 45 degrees, a lot of you have seen this before, okay, again, Rickson style, he can still use his free arm to post if I go to bridge him by looking up at 45 degrees. Go ahead. Oh, roll you? Yeah, don't let me roll you. Okay, good. Okay, again, I'm going to do it full steam, don't let me roll you. Yep, all right. And that was legit. I just actually tried to move him. So what I'm going to be doing from here is elongating one side, shortening the other. So because I have this arm trapped, that means I'm going to be rolling him to this direction. What I'm going to be doing, okay, is actually shortening the opposite side from where I'm going to take him and elongating the side, opening up the space I'm going to put him into. At the same time, my head will be slightly off the mat, and I'm going to look up as close to 12 o'clock as possible, right? So, again, not looking at 3 o'clock, not looking at 9 o'clock, trying to look up at least 11 or 1, as close to 12 as I can, okay? As I do that, my elbows have the discipline to stay down, so again, he cannot advance up high. Right. So now, once I do this, I'm going to bridge my hips into him and get connection. So it's great if you do it quick, but you don't always have to do it quick. You just want to make sure that you have that connection from the bottom that you always hear talked about with Rickson, with Henry Aikens. Connection. So from here, when I move, he will have to move with me. Now, go ahead and use this free hand on this one. So he cannot get the angle. Once I've elongated that side, shortened the other, and maintain the discipline with my elbows. The only remaining problem I have from here is the potential here for Arthur to still do one of two things. One is still be able to slide that foot out, potentially. So when I go from here, okay, elongate, but could you slide that leg out and turn into a side mount position as I go? Yes, it can still come out. So from here, what we're going to do is as I bring this in, I'm going to pull his foot in and actually turn the blade of my foot out slightly. Okay, so my knee is kind of pointed up 45 degree towards the ceiling. My other leg, I don't want him to try and kick it out, grapevine it, so I'm actually going to bring it inside close to that first foot. And now from here, try and bring that leg out. Okay, so I elongate, now I go. Okay. And you notice that will make a massive difference on your success rate. The only other issue that comes up, and I just solved this for one of our upper belts just recently, having this problem. One more time. Is that as I go for the technique, Arthur's actually going to try as early as possible to scoot up my body, right? So I go here, I'm doing everything right, and he's sort of like advancing up a little bit, trying to throw his weight off in that direction. Okay? So really lean away from it. Okay, go. Right. So he's leaning so much. Now, sometimes you'll think, well, is there some way for me to go the other direction? Sometimes, but right now I don't want to give up on this. What I want to do is, he's posting, redistributing his weight in the exact spot that I can't take him, like he's compensating. So I want to take him out of that spot. The simple way for me to do it without having to change my current position is simply to change my own positioning on the mat. So I'm going to shoulder walk myself up. So when I go like this, I feel him shift kind of up and off to the side, away from this angle. From here, I'm going to move myself up and then take it. So basically, all that entails, you just move to the side for a second. All that entails is, once I've trapped the leg the way we're talking about, shortened this side, elongated this side, kept my elbows down, I'm ready to go. I feel him shift. Okay, all I'm going to do from here is shoulder walk, get a little bit higher than him, so he's now, again, when he's redistributed his weight, not able to put it in the exact same place that I am, right? So he countered where I was, but he can't counter where I'm about to be, if that makes sense. So that will be a huge help on your UPA with those details, but 100% make sure that your posture is correct first. Because a lot of the issues going on with people's technique, I see, is that their positioning is flawed to begin with, and so then, although they may have decent fundamentals for the escape itself, they never are truly able to get into a positional orientation to successfully complete the technique.